everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mayaalexuss and I'm a cloud engineer in the finance tech industry. Today I wanted to tell you another story time, and this time it isn't about cloud technology. This story time is something very serious and something that is very common in the workplace, and it's also something personal to me. Today I'll be talking to you about sexual harassment in the workplace. I want to talk about this subject because this channel is all about being transparent, and I want to give you all a realistic perspective of something that has happened to me that I know other women are dealing with and men are dealing with too. I know a lot of my subscribers are interested in being in corporate America, especially in the technology field, and this is something that can happen to you. So I want you to be prepared and know what to expect and how to deal with certain situations. During my first day of my first internship, I met a janitor that I briefly said hello to in passing on my way to my desk. From that moment on, I saw that man frequently, multiple times a day. Initially, I just thought, oh, well, like, he's a janitor, like, this is something normal. He works in this building. I'm not surprised that I see him so much. Over time, I started to realize that I saw him more than I saw any of the other janitors that worked in my building. In the morning, he would be sitting in chairs near my desk that I had to walk past to get to my seat. In the mid-mornings, he would be standing near a door that I had to walk past to get to a conference room because I had a daily meeting in there. In the afternoons, he would frequently take out the trash near my desk. My desk was near a trash can, and I would constantly feel him looking at me to the point where I would like sunk down in my desk so that like the protector near my desk would like cover me from seeing him because I just felt like he was staring at me. I even got my coworker to watch him at one time where he was taking out the trash to see what does he actually do when he's taking out the trash, because he would take a long time to just get the bag out the trash can, and the bag wasn't full of trash or anything because there wasn't a lot of people near my desk who were throwing their trash away. When my coworker was watching him, she said he stared at me the entire time, which is really creepy to me. So I started to get like a little unction like maybe I'm being stalked. But I was still in denial about it. So later on during the months, I got an email saying that my assigned seat was going to be moved to a different floor. Initially, I was on the 5th floor and I was going to be moved down to the 1st floor. So I was like, okay, if he really is stalking me, I'll really see if I start frequently seeing him on the 1st floor, because there's no way I see him all the time on the 5th floor. Now that I've moved, I'm going to constantly see him near my desk on the 1st floor. I moved to the 1st floor. After a couple of days of being on the 1st floor, I started to see him frequently on the 1st floor. I saw him near the conference rooms. I saw him near the trash can near my desk. And downstairs, there was only like 4 people that have moved because my entire team had not finished moving yet. They were going to move later at the end of the month. So there was only 4 people. We were not generating enough trash for him to be coming to the trash can near my desk multiple times a day. And I never saw him taking a long time at any of the other trash cans. From the trash can near my desk, he would come directly to my desk and ask me like weird questions, but I would kind of just like ignore him until he finally walked away. It even got to the point where in walking, when I had to pass him, he would say my name. I had never told that man my name. So I started to get really uncomfortable. And then there was one time where I was in the company kitchen and I had my earphones in and I felt like someone was behind me. So I turned around and he was behind me and he started talking in my face, like he was right in my face, but I couldn't hear him because I had earphones on. And I quickly turned back around, and then I slowly turned back around and he was gone. That was very weird to me. So I ended up talking to my manager in a one-on-one and I explained to him what was happening and how uncomfortable I felt. And he decided that the issue was going to have to be raised to HR because of protocol. I was so nervous to tell HR because I just felt like the issue was going to be escalated and I really didn't want to deal with it anymore. I just wanted to like leave it alone, and hopefully he would just leave me alone. But I'm so glad that I told HR what happened to me. I had documented every single interaction that I had with him, what time, what date, what location, and they did a whole investigation. When they completed the investigation, they told me that they had banned him from the building that I was in, so I never saw him again. And they said that he had admitted to all of the creepy behaviors he had done. But the issue was he didn't see a problem with his behavior, and he was quote unquote wanting to get to know me, and that's why he did what he did. I truly learned to trust my instincts when I feel like something is off, and I'm so glad that I had documented everything that I needed, because when it came down for HR to do the investigation, they needed all of those logs that I had created about my interactions with him. So I'm so glad that I went to HR. I'm so glad that I documented everything, and I'm so glad that they took care of it so that I could be able to just go to work and not worry about someone constantly watching me. To get into the final story, at this same internship, I met a man who was a lead, a part of the internship program. And we had all been in a meeting where there was a whole bunch of other leads that were a part of the internship programs and the interns. So me and the other interns were expressing some of the issues we were having with our teams, and I was talking about my team and my manager and just a lot of problems I was having initially. And after the meeting, he came up to me and he told me that he had the same manager as me, and he wanted to help me and make sure that I got on the right track, and told me if I needed any advice, he would always be there and stuff like that. And I was like, cool, like there's someone on my team, so hopefully he could be a help to me. We ended up exchanging LinkedIn profiles with each other, and later that night he messaged me and told me that he wanted to see me succeed at the company, and he wanted to sit down with me to talk about what my game plan could be on how to move forward with the company and the problems I was having. So I agreed to meet with him, and we ended up going to lunch, and we started talking about what was going on with my team. He was talking about how he's dealt with my manager, and we were just really talking about what was going on and what I could do. But slowly that conversation turned into something very personal, where he started asking me weird questions like, did you move here by yourself? Do you have a boyfriend to go back home? Would you like to hang out on the weekend and explore town with me sometime? And he asked for my phone number, just really inappropriate, unprofessional stuff. And I ended up leaving that conversation feeling very uncomfortable. So over time, he would keep coming to my desk to speak to me, and I just felt very uncomfortable with it, to the point where I finally felt like I needed to speak up. And even though like I felt weird to go to him in person, I ended up writing a note to him to tell him basically, like, from our lunch conversation, I felt very uncomfortable with the things he was saying to me, and I would appreciate if he never spoke to me again, and I would appreciate if he never came to my desk again. In the long run, it worked, and he did stop talking to me, and he stopped coming to my desk, so I could finally just go to work in peace and not deal with any of those issues anymore. The point of me telling that story is to let you know, if you've been in situations where you've been sexually harassed, you are not alone. 38% of women have experienced sexual harassment in the workplace, and 13% of men have experienced it as well. Now, to end this video, let's talk about some ways of how you can overcome sexual harassment, as I have, and things that I've learned from my experiences. The first one, be careful about what information you decide to share with people. It's all about your discretion if you feel comfortable telling information, but disclosing to people that you have a boyfriend or not is your business. Disclosing to people that you live alone or what location you live in, that's really not related to work. So you don't have to tell people or feel obligated to tell people your personal business like that. You can keep your conversations related to things that are professional and work related. Number 2, ending conversations before they get too personal. For example, when I was meeting with the lead of my internship and we were talking and he started to get personal, I should have said right then and there, asking me do I have a boyfriend or anything is not his business, and I don't feel comfortable disclosing that type of information. Then he would have known from the start, oh, like this is not appropriate with her, she doesn't like this, and he would have probably stopped right then and there. Number 3, when people make you uncomfortable, tell them right then and there that their actions or their behavior or what they said was inappropriate to you. For example, when I was being stalked, he didn't understand that his behavior was creepy, but if I would have expressed to him, I would appreciate if you stop he probably would have stopped. It just went on a prolonged time because I never said anything, and then he never felt like something was wrong with his actions. The next one is to make sure that you document everything. If you ever get your situation escalated to HR, you need to have some documentation. When things are happening to you, make sure you write down the date, the time, the location, every little detail that you have, because you don't want to be thinking about stuff right off the top of your head because you might forget details of something. Have everything laid out and ready to go if you do have a situation that gets escalated. The final one is don't be afraid of HR. HR is here to help you and me. Without HR, I wouldn't have got my first problem resolved. So don't think your problem is too small to be escalated to HR. You have the right, just as anybody else has, to be comfortable and happy and feel safe in your workplace. Don't let anyone take that from you. Do whatever you can and speak up for yourself when you feel uncomfortable. So that's the end of this video. I hope this was helpful to you. If you have any questions or need advice or anything, please let me know. In the description bar, I have my contact information, and I hope this video was helpful.